Welcome back to Hip Hop History Shorts. In this episode, we'll talk about more firsts in hip hop. First, we'll talk about the first hip hop movie. Please watch as many times as you'd like to retain this amazing information. 1983's Wild Style told the story of a graffiti artist and New York's downtown art scene and rap culture. The movie features Grandmaster Flash, Fab Five Freddy, Busy Bee and others. Next, we'll talk about the first hip-hop radio station. In 1983, KDAY 93.5 FM in Los Angeles and the music director Greg Mack started the first hip-hop radio station. Mack convinced his bosses to allow him to add rap during his afternoon Mack Attack show. Next, we'll talk about the first hip-hop music video show. In 1984, Ralph McDaniels, an engineer at WNYC-TV, and Lionel Martin created Video Music Box. The show became a national hit. Next, we'll talk about the first gold album in hip-hop history. On the strengths of the singles, It's Like That, Hard Times, and Rockbox, Run DMC's 1984 self-titled debut was the first hip-hop record to sell 500,000 copies. Next, we'll talk about the first U.S. hip-hop tour. Hip-hop first ventured out on the road thanks to the 1984 Swatch Watch New York City Fresh Festival. Headlined by Run DMC, the tour also starred Houdini, the Fat Boys, and more. Next, we'll talk about the first ever diss track in hip-hop history. In 1984, UTFO put out a track called Roxanne, Roxanne. Roxanne Shante assumed the identity in their song and slammed them in her song, Roxanne's Revenge. This began the famous Roxanne Wars. Next, we'll talk about the first platinum album in hip-hop history. Run DMC's Raising Hell not only reached number 3 and topped the R&B charts, it became the first to sell 1 million copies, with its platinum certification coming in 1986. Within a year, it would sell 3 million copies. Next, we'll talk about hip-hop's first number 1 album in its short history. Def Jam's all-white trio The Beastie Boys released License to Ill in 1987. It topped Billboard's 200 albums chart and stayed there for 7 weeks. Finally, we'll talk about the first album released by a solo female hip-hop artist. MC Lyte released her debut album, Light as a Rock, in 1988. Featuring the number 1 rap single, Paper Thin, the record launched her career. Thank you for watching this episode of Hip Hop History Shorts. Please stay tuned for more amazing episodes. Please be aware that the history of hip-hop talked about in this series only explains a brief overview and does not fully cover every aspect of the times or culture. Thank you again, and take care.